We're live.
All right. The meeting will now come to order with a roll call. Mr. Probst.
Here.
Mrs. Brunette.
Here.
Mr. Cowley.
Here.
Mr. Glonick.
Here.
Mr. Hirsch. Here. Ms. Johnson.
Here.
And I'm here. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Mrs. Stotty.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If I do this right, I won't ever have to say it.
Takes some pressure off.
That's right. The agenda was posted throughout the district according to school board policy, published as a legal ad in the Superior Telegram, and posted on the district webpage. A meeting notice was sent to the connection for publication. Item 3, approval of the March 9th, 2026 agenda, open and executive sessions. I would entertain a motion in a second for that,
I'll
please.
make that motion to approve the agenda.
And a second,
Including the executive meeting afterwards, sir.
I'll second
Vince and Alita. All those in favor, please say aye.
it.
Anybody opposed? Right on. The consent agenda. Approval of the February 9th, 2026 regular board meetings, more board meeting minutes, open and executive session. And then the treasurer's report, Mr. Cowley.
Okay, in the general account on February 28th, 2026, there was a balance of $3,555,705.62 in cash and investments. Receipts since the 1st of March, not included in the February 28th balance, are $20,140.81. And the disbursements from tonight's March 9th board meeting total $132,085.51. In the flexible spending account on February 28th, 2026, there was a balance of $31,971.02 in cash and investments. In the health reimbursement account on February 28th, 2026, there was a balance of $6,476.86 in cash and investments. In the debt service fund on February 28th, 2026, there was a balance of $675.26 in cash and investments. A detailed report on fund activity is included in the financial statements.
Thank you, sir. Item C, payment of invoices. If anybody had questions, I would hope that you reached out to our fearless leader to my left. If anybody has anything they want to talk about regarding that, let's do so. Otherwise, we'll move on. Item D, resignations, employments, and retirements. Mr. Fetchelcotter.
We had a couple of resignations. Lexi Bolger, NMS 6th grade social studies teacher and JV softball coach, effective at the end of the 25-26 school year. Matt Steiba, NHS food service. Jeremy Norden Burgess, bus driver at the end of the 25-26 school year. Felicia Cawthor, NES special education paraeducator. And Morgan Paulson, choir director for NMS and NHS, effective at the end of the 25-26 school year for resignations.
Let's move on to employment.
Employment, Addie Lisdahl, NES special education paraeducator. Samuel Brulette, an NHS tech ed teacher, beginning August 2026. Kayla Anderson, NMS, 7th grade ELA and science teacher, effective right now. And Dane Evanson, 6th grade social studies, replacing Mrs. Bolger, beginning with the 26-27 school year.
And then internal transfers, I'm sorry.
None there on that one.
And then retirements.
Retirements, Deb Rasmussen, special education paraeducator, effective at the end of the 25-26 school year. And then Miss Susan Amos, special education administrative assistant, would like to rescind her retirement, which we are completely okay with from the administrative side, but needs to be approved since we approved it at the last meeting. So we rescind, and she would come back for the 26-27 school year.
Wow. Hot dog.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second. Steve and Maya. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passes. Item 5, policy update.
We've got a laundry list there of, because there are so many, we're gonna do a first read, second read. So since we are a school, I get to assign you guys homework over the month. A series of them are just technical corrections, pretty straightforward, dates, very, very simple. The content of the policy doesn't necessarily change, but they are listed there. And then we have some updated policies for you to certainly take a look at. But, no motion on this right now. It is just an indication of this is the first read. We will look to come back in April and approve and or answer any questions that you guys may have before we approve and get that done at our next board meeting.
Clear as mud.
There won't be a test afterwards, just so you guys know.
Item 6 then.
Oh, I
we're
think
gonna
it should be.
Move on to approval items. Hey, you would. So just one more thing.
It'll be in May.
Item A, a request for an inter-district transfer. Mr. Fetchel-Cotter, I
Yep.
would assume you all got the letter.
So the letter's in the file there. I believe we have parents here for that. Thank you very much. So, situation that this is a family moving into our district, and parents would like to have said students attend at NES, so it does not impact enrollment at NES at this point in time. So, our recommendation would be to approve this inter-district transfer for the 26-27 school year, next school year.
And this was a kindergarten.
Are the parents here? I just have one question if I could.
Have at it.
Do you have other children? I guess. Okay, so this is the only child involved? Okay.
Yes.
I'm just curious about that.
Parameter's been talked about, so we said our recommendation is to approve.
Any additional questions?
I'll make a motion to approve the interdistrict transfer request.
I'll second.
Cat and Dan, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thank you for the technicality of having to show up.
You're welcome to stay, but feel free to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item B, request for Mr. Charles Hessel and Allison Meldy or Mrs. Meldy and up to 12 students from the Visual Arts Classic team to attend the overnight state VAC competition April 9th and 10th, 2026 at the Edgewood College in Madison.
My name is Claire Messier. I'm a junior, and for VAC this year, I competed in art history for my long term and my short term, and I'm a member of the Visual Arts Classic team. We are a team of 12. Our team of 12 competed individually on March 6th at UW Superior by showing long-term projects and creating an on-site project in 2.5 hours. In addition, as a team, we participated in a critical thinking competition and an art history quiz bowl. Individually, we earned first place awards with 11 of our long-term projects and 8 of our on-site projects. The remaining 5 projects scored second place. Our projects are on display in the showcases between the 2 art rooms, so please check them out when you have a chance. As a team, we took second place in the quiz bowl competition, second place in critical thinking, and second place overall at the regional competition. Each first place finish qualifies the project, student, and or team for the state meet. Everyone had at least one first place finish, but only 8 of us qualified to compete in an on-site project at state. Of the 8, only 7 of us were actually able to attend state. This year's state meet is at Edgewood College in Madison on Friday, April 10th. We would like to request your permission to spend the night of April 9th in Madison. We would leave school at 8:30 a.m. on Thursday, April 9th, compete all day Friday, April 10th, and return later that night. Mr. Hessel would take us using the school Suburban. Due to the fact that only 7 of our group of 12 would be going, the overall cost decreased from $3,350 to $1,600, which covers a substitute teacher, hotel rooms, transportations, and meal money. Do you have any questions for us? Thank you.
Well done.
Yeah, I guess it says Mrs. Meldy will be taking them down. I just want to make sure I didn't misunderstand.
Yeah, no, it'll be me.
Okay.
Yeah, when we initially did the request, actually both of us were probably going to go and take a bus. Vans are being used for the baseball team down in the Dells, and we thought, well, we'll have 12 students going, so we'll need a bus, and then we both can go and kind of have one chaperone for each gender, just to make sure there's nothing crazy going on in Madison. But now that we've only got 7 of us going, 7 students, we can fit in Suburban with just one advisor, and Mrs. Meldy agreed that it would be a good time for me to go. I've missed out the last few years, so. But it is a fun time. It's a lot of fun to see what the kids do, and they're so creative. It's a blast. So I'm thankful to be able to go, potentially.
I'm glad you're so agreeable.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Voluntold, is that how that went, or were you?
Yeah. Well, I haven't been to. Did I go to regionals last year?
No, and we didn't go my freshman year.
Yeah. So I've been all over the country for volleyball on the weekends of VAC, chasing Shelby around. So I haven't been able to go. So now it'll be nice. They might even make it back for the 4x4 at the track meet that she's running on Friday night. So.
Well, with that, is any other questions? Otherwise, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the trip to Madison for the VAC competition.
I'll second that.
And Steve, any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Good luck. Have a good time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item C, a request from Mrs. Johnson, FBLA advisor, and 15 students to attend the overnight state leadership conference and competition in Green Bay on April 12th through 14, 2026, and plan to attend the national conference in San Antonio, Texas at the end of June if any members qualify.
Hello, I'm Reagan Everhart.
And I'm Haley Gilderman.
We are representing Northwestern's FBLA chapter. On Saturday, February 7th, 35 students from our chapter traveled to Hammond, Wisconsin for the regional competition. We competed in a variety of events, including broadcast journalism, sales presentation, intro to public speaking, sports and entertainment marketing, and personal finance, to name a few. Some participants competed by presenting a prepared 7-minute speech, while others took a test. There were over 500 students competing at this event.
15 students from our chapter qualified to attend the State Leadership Conference and competition in Green Bay. We are asking permission to travel to Green Bay on April 12th to attend the conference on April 13th and 14th. In addition, we are asking permission to travel to San Antonio, Texas for the national conference, which will be held from June 29th to July 2nd if anyone from our chapter qualifies for this event. Thank you for considering our request.
It should be noted that if they do attend a national competition or qualify, that will be funded through the activity account. Correct, Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Any discussion?
I make a motion to approve the 15 students traveling to the FBLA conference competition.
And the potential.
And the San Antonio, Texas trip if they make it.
And the second, if I could.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Good luck. Have a good time.
Thank you.
Item D, a request from Misty Raddick, FCCLA advisor, and 20 students to attend the overnight state FCCLA competition and convention held in Wisconsin Dells on April 6th through 8th.
Okay, hi, so I'm Olivia and I'm the president of the SCCLA Club, which is Family Community Career Leaders of America. And we took 20 students to regionals and they all made it to state, which is the first time in a long time that every member that went made it. And this is just a portion of them, obviously. But we're gonna go down to the Wisconsin Dells if we are able to. And we're gonna stay at the Kalahari. It's from April 6th through 8th. And we compete in a number of different events. Me and Emily and another student competed in community service project portfolio, which is basically you take like a binder and you put all the information from a community service project that you planned, which we planned the 20th year Thanksgiving basket drive for our school. And so we just put all the information from that in there and we got to state. So yeah, and then if anyone else wants to talk about their
Me and Michaela competed in something very similar. We did a community service display. So we had to make a poster and then have an oral presentation to go along with it. And we did ours on our sock fundraiser. So we partnered with CASDA. So for every 2 pairs of socks sold, we donated a pair to the local shelter, which if you don't know what CASDA is, it's a shelter for women who are escaping abuse, domestic violence, or child abuse situations.
I competed in the cake decorating competition, which basically you go the pre-baked cake, you have it all set up, and then you decorate a cake for 2 hours based on the prompt you were given.
So yeah, those are some of the events that we're gonna be competing down there. We just wanted to know if you had your approval for to go down there.
I would assume that's a bus.
Yeah.
Yes.
And a trailer?
We don't need the trailer.
Okay, never mind.
We have.
We had a lot of stuff.
We just put Lauren in the trailer.
Sometimes if I talk too much. I'm just kidding.
Just to be clear, is the convention the 6th, 7th, and 8th, or are you leaving on the 6th?
It is the 6th, 7th, and 8th. So we have to check in for their events by 2 p.m. and then we have a little bit of time to get settled into our rooms, and then we're right in for opening ceremonies and dinner.
So you're gonna leave the morning of the 6th,
Yes.
is that correct? And you'll be home the evening of the 8th?
Correct.
Any other questions or?
Any concerns about driver?
We were able to make the trip work. Yes.
Sounds good.
So.
I'll make a motion to approve it then.
I'll second it.
And second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Good luck. Have a good time.
Thank you so much.
Don't forget anybody in the trailer, please.
Item E, a request from Mr. Nyhus, FFA advisor, and those who qualify at the April 5th, 2026 contest to attend the 2026 FFA State Career Development Contest in Madison, April 16, 17, and or April 23, 4.
My name's Lauren. You're gonna say what your name is?
I'm Olivia.
I'm Emily.
Good evening. FFA's competition is in full swing. This year we have about 6 teams competing at the regional competition at UW River Falls on March 28th. Some categories are wildlife management, veterinary science, horse judging, milk quality and dairy products, farm and business management, and we're competing in floriculture. So each event is a little different, but if we're going to talk about floriculture a little bit, we go in and we take a test about plant identification and other aspects, and then we make a boutonniere and a prom bouquet with on site. So then they judge it, I guess. We are asking permission to attend the state competition if and when our teams score high enough at the regional contest. The state horse judging contest takes place on April 17th to coordinate with the Midwest Horse Fair. This team would leave Northwestern on the 16th and return late on the 17th. All other contests take place on April 25th at 8 a.m. The plan would be to leave on the 24th, take a business tour along the way, and return late on Friday, the 25th. Cost would depend on the numbers of the teams that move on to state, but the average we've had is about 2 to 3 teams. Do you have any questions for us? Or Mr. Nyhus?
Have you gone on this before yourselves?
I have never competed in floriculture, so I'm really excited.
I've gone to competition every 4 years, but I did vet science the first 2, and then I did floriculture last year and then this year. So I'm really excited to do it again.
I've done floriculture every year, so I'm really excited to do it again.
So it's 2 different.
Yeah, so the horse judging state competition is during Midwest Horse Fair, which is April 17th is the contest day. And so FFA split that one from the rest of our state competition. And so if the horse judging team were to make it to state, we would have to go down that week. Same concept. We'd go down the Thursday, early morning. The contest is early Friday morning, and then we'd be back that evening. Every other contest is the following week. It's a Thursday, Friday. We'd be back again late Friday evening.
Did they do this similarly last year?
We've done it now. I think this is the third year in a row that it's been this way.
It seems like it wasn't that long ago where we talked about that.
Yeah, I think this is the third year now. The conversation at the state level is there's a lot of volunteers that are at Midwest Horse Fair, plus the Gala horses that come in for that. But then there's not enough volunteers to run the rest of the contests at UW down there because everything is kind of focused on the horse fair. And it's been a long, arduous process that the northern schools aren't super thrilled with. But
And I don't want to assume, but based on history here, that you take a car or the van, you go down, and then your fund ends up taking care of the majority of the fundage.
no, so this would be, we're asking for this district to pay for the cost here.
Because this is a national state. Yeah,
This is a
okay.
state competition, so the district would cover it.
Yeah.
All right.
In the past, we've usually take a van, because there's usually 2 or 3 teams, or 2 teams we can fit in a van, 3 teams, then we need a bus.
Okay.
But again, it depends on which teams qualify and if it's in the, which week.
Okay.
Mr. Nice was looking for back-to-back weekends in Madison.
Yeah.
Good man. Can we ask for us an expected cost? I mean, what's the ask here?
So again, it depends on the number of teams that qualify. Each team, the registration is about $30 per team for the actual cost of the contest down there. The transportation would be dependent on a bus versus van again. So with a bus, then we would have to pay a driver as well. In the past, we've had generally 2 teams make it down there. Then I can drive the van, and that saves on that cost there.
So from a business side, these are, when we create this budget at the beginning of the year, it is educated guessing, to be completely honest with you. And we try to look at what we spent previous years, but there's such variability. If, one team makes it, it's going to be a little bit different cost than if
All 6.
all 16.
Yeah, the tough thing this year too is that our contest got pushed up a weekend because of Easter being so early this year. Typically, we can come to you with the exact number of teams that make it, but there's a really short window between our contest, our regional contest date on the 28th and the state contest.
From the business side, I don't want to ever get to this point and say, sorry, we make it work. But Mr. Nios is correct. It's tough to, we can provide a range of probably $1,500 to, if all 6 teams make it, you're looking at more hotel rooms. It's going to be probably a $5,000 trip then. But I guess it's a good problem to have.
So accomplished.
Must be exhausting.
We're just gonna go with you. I'm just kidding.
Any other discussion or questions?
I trust that you will use funds wisely, and I vote that we approve this trip.
So how about you make a motion?
I make a motion to approve this trip for the
I'll second.
FFA.
And Dan, you're the second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Enjoy your weekends in April. Item F, the Start College Now Early College Credit Program for fall of 2026. I'm gonna give that to you real quick, Mr. Petrofader.
Yep. So pretty annual process for this time of year. You guys have the list of students that have expressed interest in taking classes either through Northwood Tech or UWS. Mr. Smith is here, Ms. Kroll is here. Thank you both for being here because this is their area of expertise. So feel free to ask questions should you have them. Otherwise, we'd be looking to, the recommendation is to approve.
I have a question. What is HHP Walking for Fitness?
Youth and home.
It's in the UWS course catalog as a class that they can.
Is it a gym class?
Most colleges require kids to take a health and human performance class while they're in school, and so there's one that they have available virtually. And the way the approval process works is the class that the kids want to take, if it's 80% the same as a class we offer, it gets denied. If it's different, it has to be 80% the same. And so when a few kids approached me about it, when I read the description, we didn't think we could deny that class because we don't have, based on the description of the course, we don't offer that by a class. Kind of the same thing with the, there's a microbiology there. I'm gonna pick on Dan. I had to call Jamie and ask on that one because I did not know the difference between that class and honors bio. And after reading through the description, we felt like it wasn't the same, 80% anyway.
And
So you'll see there's some courses that are denied
Yeah.
because they're classes that we offer. And the ones that are approved are classes that we didn't feel like we had a comparable enough course. Now, you'll see a lot of classes on there that kids are not gonna end up taking because what happens is these applications are due before the schedule goes live. So like they were due to me by Friday, February 27th, because March 1st was on a Sunday. And then the UWS's schedule went live on March 2nd. So they have to guess what's gonna be available. So I always recommend they put down 4 or 5 classes when really they're gonna take one because they don't really know what's offered. It's like Cody talks about educated guessing. We do the same thing with this program because the due dates and when the schedules are available don't line up, unfortunately. So we try to look at what was offered last year and make our best guess at what might be available this year. So like I said, you'll see some of them have 4 or 5 classes. They're really probably gonna take one of those.
Most of these face-to-face up at UWS, or are they virtual?
I would say most of them are virtual. We do have a few kids that attend face-to-face. We have a couple kids that are going to Northwood Tech right now. We have a few that would like to do more time at UWS in the spring semester instead of graduating early. But it's very hard to line up the schedule with ours. The virtual option just makes it more convenient.
Seems like a pretty decent number of kids that applied. Is it more than normal?
For me, I felt like it was more than normal, but when there's been a lot of talk in the conference about it, and I've been hearing from other conference schools that they're getting applications in the 40s and 50s. So that made me feel like a little more manageable. But yeah.
The principals in our league talk about this. Yeah, there's some couple schools, 47, 48, 50 kids. And their issue is that they just want to do it from home.
Oh, jeez.
During the day. This is an issue that they're wrestling with. So you're getting, and the teachers are concerned that their class sizes are gonna go down to the point where they're gonna offer the class on campus. So
Right.
it is a kind of an issue league-wide. Each school in our conference kind of deals with a different university, but our conference is so big. This is a larger number for us, but still a decent number. And like you said, they're not gonna take all these courses.
And a lot of them, you're deciding really early, like by fall, and they see the high school courses they're in. A lot of them end up dropping because they're trying to plan way ahead, and then they find out they're doing enough in high school and with their after school activities, and then, others stick with them. It just depends. So like what you approve and what actually goes through into fruition is usually significantly less.
Is it also true, Ms. Kroll, that if they fail the class, parents are financially responsible?
Or withdraw. Like, because if they drop, there's drop deadlines, but each deadline there's fees involved, so if there's any fees with the drop, they are responsible. We've also been, just so you're aware, I'm very strict with the deadline because I probably had 5 others try to turn it in late, and the deadline's the deadline on this. And then, the other thing, what did I just lose my train of thought? We're strict with the deadline, and, I had a second thought and I just lost it. It was probably a really good one. But yeah, we're strict with the deadline, and then I know what it was. UWS has a minimum GPA requirement to be able to take any courses. And they do give us the option to, override that, but we don't. We stick with what UWS's requirement is, because I don't want to be in a position of putting kids in classes that they're not prepared for. If they're not meeting the minimum requirement, then we stick with UWS's requirements.
What is UWS's requirements?
It's a 2.75 GPA, and they don't typically take 9th graders, because 9th graders can do this program, but they don't have a GPA by the time the applications are due, so typically they don't get to do it.
Seems like every time we talk about it, it's like more information.
It's like a very complicated.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm always learning more about it too, but by asking questions. It was interesting to me, there were less applications for Start College Now this time. It's like, it kind of comes in waves, and sometimes kids hear their friends are doing it, so then they want to know more. Or they say they didn't know anything about it, even though it was in the announcements for 3 weeks.
The list continues to get larger, which is
good.
Well, I think it's good and bad. My understanding is that colleges are recruiting high school kids to take this, because obviously
Well, yeah,
they're a
there's
funding.
that go right to the house. I mean, I get them at my house all the time,
Yeah.
with advertising, which is okay. I mean, kids should know what their options are, but sometimes you need to be in a place that they're prepared, and I try to really educate them that whatever they take is their first college GPA. So you don't want to take anything you're not going to do well in, because if you take something you're in over your head in and you don't do well, then that's your first college GPA. You could start college on academic probation if you struggle in a class. So it's important that they understand they're a college student, and it's really on them to go through the registration process and do what they need to do, because we don't have access to their grades. They're college kids. So until I get their final grade, I don't know. I can't check it like I can in Skyward. So I try to make sure they are aware of that.
I just have one question. So I'm going to read you a couple of classes, and then you answer. Then I'll ask the question. Okay. So thinking of sociology, macroeconomics, survey of criminal justice, just thinking of those few classes, which we rejected because we offer something, of course. My question is, what's the probability that because of low number of students that sign up for it, that we wouldn't offer it later when they want to take it?
That with those classes, that wouldn't happen, because social issues is a required course.
Okay.
And law and justice is offered at least 2 or 3 times every year.
Okay.
And I can't remember the third one. The economics one, we offer free market and money, which is our economics course. I did have to talk to Mr. Teal to learn if the difference of if we're teaching microeconomics or macroeconomics, and which one would be the most comparable. So you'll see one's approved and one's denied, because I had to do a little research on some of these, because it's been a while since I learned about economics. So, but that's, so when it's one that I'm not sure, I rely on the teacher. Like, we approved medical terminology because we offer forensic science and med-term, but we only teach med-term like 1 day a week in that class, which if it's a 9-week course, they're looking at 9 days of med-term, and I didn't feel like confidently we could say it was 80% of the course. So
You answered my question. Thank you.
Well, personally, and I'm not sure why I feel this way, I really struggle with that gym class. I really struggle that we're gonna, as a school, we're gonna pay for a college class that's a gym class. Even though it's a requirement at that level, it just gets under my skin. That's how I feel.
Do colleges require a gym credit now?
What she's saying they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I took weight training.
Running a broom all with that, Jake.
They have everything.
I forgot what Lucy took, but it was
I
some
do
just
not remember
blow
that.
away class.
I had to do, it was a blow, one credit.
Yeah. Which, I mean,
Maybe you had a harder major, Kat.
I don't remember doing any, I mean,
You're not checking.
Plus in physical
I
therapy.
will.
Maybe you shouldn't have your degree.
what kind of quiet class did you take?
Something, archery. I also took zero art.
I think Lucy took like line dancing or some stupid thing.
I took fencing.
My brother did that. He's the only guy in there. He said that was.
It was time well spent.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's funny.
Anyways, that's my 2 bits. But if the consensus, I suppose, is to approve everything that they have given their recommendation for, or if you want to go through it and say no to any of them, we could do so. Otherwise, we could do a motion and a second and roll on.
I make a motion, we approve the Start College Now or Early College Credit Program
As is,
as is.
in a second.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All those, and any other discussion, I should say first. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passes. Right on. Item G, the Technical Excellence Scholarship Recommendation.
I can tackle this one for you. You guys have this in your board packet. So the team would like to recommend Henry Nielsen to be selected as our Technical Excellence Scholarship winner this year. He's the son of Scott and Allison Nielsen. One might be in here, I don't know. Henry has been admitted to Northwood Technical College and is pursuing a business management degree. His goal is to help grow their family business, Silver Maple Construction. Henry was the superintendent of our building construction course that builds the house that we're all well aware of. He helped to teach and lead other students that are in that class. He's a member of the track team and an honor roll student. The team is very proud of Henry's accomplishments, and we're excited to see what his future holds. So the recommendation would be to approve Henry as the scholarship award winner.
Can you remind me the dollar amount? And isn't it a 2-year scholarship, or am I incorrect?
$2,250 for 2 years. So it's the same as our academic excellence scholarship. It's just that one is for 4. So it's so we're lucky that we get to award one every year.
So it's in this case, Henry is going to end up over 2 years getting $4,500.
Yep.
Right.
The first 2 years of school.
And since it's a technical excellence program, they have to be attending a Wisconsin Technical College. So the transfer of funds goes right from the state to their tech schools.
So what happens, hypothetically here, he doesn't go the second year? Does the fundage just stay put and nothing happens with it, or does it get?
Once it's started to be used by a student, it's used and it can't be passed down.
Okay.
But if a student doesn't start school, then it can get passed to the next person.
Oh.
So it can't be like 1 year for one kid and another year for another kid.
Okay.
Maybe his parents will make sure that doesn't happen.
Well, parents try their best, but.
It's a lot bigger than that.
That scholarship, just so you know, is selected on a point system based on their like activity and participation in CTE. So it's a policy that we adopted from the state on how to select that winner. So it's really encouraged that their CTE participation in courses and the clubs that you're always approving that are in here, and that's how we select the winner based on that policy.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. School, there's probably a number of very worthy candidates to have brought in.
And you said it's state funded?
Yes, so I just calculate the points and fill out the paperwork for the students.
Do students have to apply?
Yeah, their deadline was mid-February.
If we need a motion to approve that, I'd be happy to make that motion.
Second.
Because I think we're not paying for it, we just need a regular old vote, right? So all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passes. Right on.
Adam was asking me that question.
No, I was looking at Ms. Getty there.
Oh, you're good.
We already answered all the questions.
I'll just keep staring at you, don't worry. Item H, the elimination of early entrance 4K kindergarten practice. I'm guessing this is gonna be a tag team between you, Mr. Fetchcotter, and Mr. Larry.
So, yeah, real quick, a couple weeks ago now, I met with Mr. Larrabee and Mrs. Walsh from the kindergarten team over at NES. So really what we're looking to do is have policy reflect practice. If you read our early entrance policy for 4K in kindergarten, it states that the student needs to be 4 by September 1st to attend 4K and 5 by September 1st to attend kindergarten. We have in the past, kind of coming from a different time and place than what we are now, had some assessments that were done by the teaching staff to determine kind of if a student was ready to come to 4K early or kindergarten early, depending on the situation. And what we found is that academically is one part of the equation, but it's not the most important part of the equation for that age level. Social emotional development is very vital too, to be successful. And long range, we found that the students might be ahead of the curve academically a little bit, but they usually do not stay there as we continue to move up the ladder of grades. So you have Heather and Mrs. Walsh's and Mr. Larrabee's letter in there for your review, but we have talked about it as a team, as a group, and we believe moving forward, this is the best step starting in 26, 27.
The other thing I would add is we're talking about a very small portion of kids. Usually we're looking at 1 to 2. Some years we don't have any. So it's a small percentage of our student population, but obviously as they age and go on throughout the rest of our grades, we want to make sure that we start them where they need to be. And as we know, the academic rigor has changed at the early grades, so we no longer feel this is a good fit for our students.
Plus athletically, it's better to be a year older.
Those 19-year-old football players.
Just saying.
That's Ian Smith.
Are you advocating we move that date even more?
I would say nothing wrong with maybe December.
Looking for all 4 years to be at least 8 years old. Can we go back to common practice and policy?
I think we're a little far north in demographics for that.
Very special district.
Any questions for Mr. Larrabee? We have looked at this as a group, so.
If you don't mind me adding, just from like the other end of the district, the high school side, it's not uncommon to see kids who entered kindergarten early struggling in the high school. Like going off to college when you're 17 or not, or maybe even credit deficient. There's several times that we've been in meetings where it's like, how did we get here too early? Whether it's too young or sometimes too old for whatever reason. If another district retained them or they started school late, like hitting that senior year when you're not the age you're supposed to be or older than you're supposed to be can be really difficult. And
My comment.
I would just say on our end of things, I would support that because
It has
someone
long
might
lasting
have been real
effects.
advanced when they're little, like those decisions made for 4-year-olds can affect them every year they're in school.
My common question to parents under our current practice is, would you be comfortable with them being on campus at 17 for all of September and into October? Because I don't know that that's necessarily something parents think about.
parents aren't gonna have a real answer to that when they are 4 years old. It's, I mean, personally, so the policy is currently written, you're saying, as 4 years old, September 1, or 5 years old, September 1, and we are just going to enforce that. There's no more exception to that rule,
Correct.
correct?
Correct. And I can't go all the way back to the beginning because it predates me, but I think this predated some of the policy adjustments. We just never enforced it, so.
And I mean, not that I'm long in the tooth here, but for as long as I've sat here, I think that's only been 2 or 3 students that I think we've done it. But I think the bigger concern that was part of it is talking about the, I don't think special ed is the correct word, but the services that are getting utilized, Title I and some of those other services that are getting utilized once they're hitting the other side of the hallway in the elementary school or the middle or high school.
You raise a good point. With some of the requirements now for academic testing that were here even 2 years ago, we are fearful that we're going to set our kids up for struggles. And obviously we pour resources in, irregardless of any decision here. But if we know that we can do better, then we should do better.
There's not a real big replacement for developmental age and developmental time. That's all there is to it. So. Any other questions we can answer for you?
I just want to make sure this, and I apologize, I didn't check this in advance. So policy 5410 and 5112 are okay as written, or does anybody know if we need to make revisions to any?
I think 5112 is in the packet that you have that early entrance.
It is.
I think that's in there, but I don't recall off the top of my head what that change is.
Yeah, I can, we'll update it, but essentially what we're looking to eliminate the practice. The policy has been in place for, since before I went into this role, obviously, but a number of years. And the reason why I bring it to the board is because it is an important, no matter where we set the date, there's gonna be somebody that's 3 or 4, or excuse me, turning 4 the day after the date, all that stuff. But you gotta have a date somewhere there, so it's too open-ended. Even though parents may not like to hear this, it is our job as educators to look just beyond the year that they're there. And ultimately for us, going all the way through, hopefully till their senior year, it does have an impact. So you are right now, not a lot of parents are thinking, well, what's my life gonna be like for my senior 10 plus years? But we do see it on the other end.
And on a personal level, I've got now a number of kids that have moved on, and we've all got some here, but let these kids be kids. 9 months isn't the end of the world.
So
they're going to hurry up and go to work for the next 40 years of their life. They'll enjoy 1 more year of high school. At least that's my 2 years.
So I definitely approve of this, and I would make a motion that as a board, we approve of this, including to make sure that our policy supported in entirety as well.
Looking for a second then as well.
Second it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, gentlemen. Moving on to item 7, our administrative reports. We'll start with A, communications, Mr. Fetchelcotter.
None this month on the communication.
All right. And then the next portion here that we're super excited about, talking about property and casualty insurance and healthcare insurance as the things that we have said that we are going to continue to bring up for the next couple of months prior to said election.
So you guys have a document in there that kind of summarizes I'll call it the 10-year cost trends. So in 2015, the district paid a total of just over $2 million for healthcare insurance premiums. The cost last year officially is just over 2.4 million. So that's a 20.3% increase over the course of 10 years. But I think it's important to kind of note that that's only part of the story. In 2015, the district insured 49 more members than we do this year. In addition, in 2015, there were 3 different plans that our employees could choose from. There's what we call a low deductible plan, a mid deductible plan, and a high deductible plan. So plan A back in 2015 was a single deductible of $1,500, and and a family deductible of $3,000. Plan B was $2,000, $4,000 as you see there, and the high deductible plan was $3,000, $6,000. Current employees, and this is part of us trying to, as best as we possibly can, still provide a solid insurance plan to our employees, but keep the costs down as much as possible. So plans that are available this year, what we call the narrow network plan or the essential only plan, there's a $5,000 single deductible or $10,000 family plan deductible. Plan B, essential only, was a $3,300 single deductible or a $6,600 family deductible. And then there's plan C and D there with the various deductibles of $5,000, $10,000. And that's more of the open network, which allows our employees to go to their healthcare provider of choice, whether it be Aspirus, Mayo, any other healthcare system that is out there. So kind of why I brought this to the forefront is that, you know, essentially we're paying more money for what would be classified as less services in terms of that. The district does make an HRA and HSA contribution to the employees that do take our insurance. It's a $750 contribution for a single plan and a $1,500 contribution for a family plan to try to offset the cost of healthcare for our employees as best as we possibly can and still have a functional budget. That has been the same since 2015. That is not adjusted. The other piece of this puzzle is that the percentage of healthcare premium that the employee pays has increased as well since 2015. It's gone up by anywhere from roughly 3.5% on average to 4% depending on the year. So the take home on healthcare is this: much like everybody else, no matter your line of work, whether it be in schools, private sector, somewhere in between, healthcare costs continue to rise. We as a district do the best we can to adjust and support our employees, but you know, it's our second biggest cost by a long shot annually every year, outside of salary, of course, it's benefit costs. So questions around healthcare and the 10-year trend for you guys, for anybody on board?
Just a quick, you said we had 49 more people back then. So what, I mean, no, I know we're still have about the same number of employees, don't we? Or are we?
Sure. Yeah, so yeah, and that's a huge point for us to make. 49 more employees on the healthcare plan is significant.
Is that employees or
Insured.
or insured?
Members, excuse me.
Members?
Employees, yes.
Okay, could be.
Employees.
So it's employees. Thank you, Wendy, for chiming
Once
in.
we had to start paying for it, a lot of people that were double insured just dropped off.
Oh. Does that help? Because it's a I mean, it's, how many people are insured right now? How many members are insured? I think it's,
112,
Yeah.
or off the top of my head.
so ballpark, you know, we're talking 30-ish% fewer people on the healthcare plan. And still paying 20+% more than what we did 10 years ago, so.
Yeah, I just was wondering if those 49 could ever come back on.
In theory, anybody that qualifies, yes, but.
That's what I'm, you know, I mean, we would be looking at a significant increase in.
There's a reason why I've talked in here and will continue to talk. Healthcare is one of the scariest costs from the business manager chair that I can think of, because.
I will say, we had a lot more, all of our pairs were full-time. And we've since cut that. You know, we have a lot less employees to draw from now than we did 10 years ago, looking at full-time versus part-time.
Is there a way, and I apologize for this, and I'm not expecting an answer today, but is there a way for, I would assume there is, like Plan C on the 10-year ago plan, the deductible, the 3,000, 6,000? Is there a way to find out what that premium was then, and then compare it to the current Plan B or Plan D?
Go ahead, Wendy, if you would.
Oh, I don't have it with me, but,
Because I think that would give us, I mean, personally, that would give me, I mean, looking at this, we have a $400,000 increase in.
I do have a note that says if it was same coverage across the board, it would have went up 136%.
From the $2.2 million.
With the total employees that we had in 2015 and the total employees, if we were to carry that number over, and the same coverage, you're looking at 136% increase.
So that's what, that's what,
$4.5 million is where we would be at.
that's hence why I say it's one of the scariest costs that we have, because it is a cost that we have very, very little control over.
Because we do have a number of employees that elect not to take
Correct.
insurance, who could all of a sudden elect
Quite
to
a
take.
few, actually.
Yes, it's a very sizable number that, you know, they're on their spouse's plans, they're on, you know, some of them are young teachers that are coming out of college that are still under their parents' plans up until, I think it's 26, if I remember correctly. But it is, it's a very, very difficult thing to functionally do any kind of budget projection on. We do the best we can, but to be frank with you, we gotta live year by year, because there are so many factors and variables that, like you said, are just out of our control. But part of this process is to make sure that the word gets out in our community that we do as a school district. We've tried to adjust. We've increased deductibles. We've increased the employee share of paying for the premium. We've kept a lot of things flat in terms of the district contribution to them. It's all the work that we're trying to do to keep out of the situation that we're currently in, but doesn't necessarily get seen from the public's eyes. But yeah, the days of healthcare where I'll never know, but it was no cost, no deductible, or no cost, $200, $250 deductible, or just, those are no longer realistic.
I remember.
No longer realistic.
But as we sit today, regardless of what we have done, as far as plans and whatever, we are $409,000 more annually.
Correct.
$409,000 more annually in just health insurance.
And that, the annual part is important on that. So, we are, you know, for a long time, many people going into the public service sector knew that the pay wasn't necessarily going to be near as the private sector, but usually the ancillary benefits were really, really good. It's becoming more and more difficult to say that that's the case. Don't get me wrong, I know the private sector feels a lot of this too, but we are not immune to it by any stretch of the imagination. So
It's going up. It's not going down.
Well, why don't you move on to property and casualty?
the other one there, kind of our other major, obviously healthcare is our biggest chunk of change, but property casualty insurance. So that's our property insurance, liability insurance, workers' comp insurance, auto insurance. So total cost back in 2015 was just over $176,000. Fast forward to 2025, that number was $264,421. So an increase of just under, well, if you round up, it's 49.7%, just under 50%. So getting close to a 50% increase or just under. And that again doesn't tell the complete story when I look back. Now, obviously I was not in this particular role back in 2015, but I can go back and look at deductibles. The deductibles that we pay have in some cases doubled or tripled. So it's kind of a theme that we have, is that we've tried to adjust, try to keep these costs down by controlling what we can control. And one of those things is increasing deductibles. You know, on a personal level, we've probably all been there with auto insurance saying, why am I paying that? Is there any way I can knock it down? And usually the only way you're going to knock it down is to increase your deductible if you have an issue. That is part of what we have here. The most difficult cost for us is twofold. It's property insurance. That has gone up every year, in my opinion, astronomically, but it is what it is. And then workers' compensation, which we do try to control as best as we possibly can. But accidents happen here just as they do anywhere else. So another data point that shows that the costs are not the same as what they were 10 plus years ago.
Well, the worst about property, that's really jumped the last couple of years, property insurance, and to find people that will even cover you now.
Correct. We have one provider right now that I'm very, very happy for, but I every year we try to get at least another company or two to try to bid us as a entity, and we have struck out my 3 years of doing this. We bid out from another company actually 2 years ago, looking at, and Holden has done good things. I have nothing bad to say about my interactions with them, but we sat down with another firm to kind of get a bid, and they couldn't even get anybody to bid us for it. So
What happens if we can't find anybody?
Somebody will end up writing it.
Somebody will write it, but not for.
You won't like it, but
Yeah,
they'll know.
they just, it sucks.
It's,
Yeah,
if we get to that point, I worry that it's going to
It'll be
double.
pleasant.
It'll be unpleasant, so we're just gonna, we do the little things we can to make sure the insurance providers are getting what they need from us, so.
So I mean, the long and short of it is, even though we have made, I would say, difficult decisions to increase deductibles, change health insurance plans, go to a narrow network, we have 50 less members than we did 10 years ago. We're still $500,000 more a year between health and property insurance. And you compile that on top of what was last month, $700,000 when we talked about transportation and some of the other stuff. I mean, now you're 1.2 million. More out of a budget that's been relatively flat for the last 10 years. So it's tough.
Cody, have we inquired, so I'm thinking of our fire alarm system, and if we had a more integrated system, proper notifications were in place and everything, could that reduce some of our insurance costs?
I'd like to think so, I can't guarantee it. The problem that we have when it comes to property insurance is that we're a rural school. And that is the consistent thing that I hear is that there's not a fire department, if there's, a fire in one of our buildings that is gonna be here in short order. Not to say anything with our volunteer fire departments, we're just talking a volume issue. It will certainly help. The biggest thing that's gonna help you on that is some kind of sprinkler system, which this is the only building that has a sprinkler system. To retrofit buildings, that is very, very, very expensive to work. We're talking in the potentially.
Return on there is probably not there.
Hundreds of thousands, if not millions.
They give a rate credit for a sprinkler system. I know because I get one, but it's not enough. And that rate credit used to be 20 years ago, it used to be like 20%. And I think now it's like 5%. So they just keep, and then everybody else says, code says, well, you got to put one in anyways, or you got to do this. Everybody gets you.
I tend to agree one way or the other.
Any other questions or anything regarding that fantastic news? All right, and let's move on to item C in the maintenance update.
Pretty standard stuff in the maintenance update, snow removal over the last month. I don't think we're through the woods yet, even though there's been a lot of melting going on. It is springtime in northern Wisconsin, so we'll get what we get when Mother Nature throws it our way. A couple odds and ends, nothing too out of the norm with it there, nothing really worth noting. So some repairs in some of our back channel water heaters, systems that.
How long till the bleachers are?
The bleachers actually got fixed today.
Oh, nice.
So we had to order a electric motor that finally burned out. So they are operational. And we're gonna order a backup motor because there's 6 of them that run those bleachers. They're all the same age. So we don't anticipate that getting through. So
In regards to snow removal, I don't know if anyone else noticed, but the sidewalk, like at the lower doors, that like kind of main sidewalk straight out, I didn't feel like got cleared this winter very well with snow. There
At the
were
high school
several,
level?
yeah.
You're talking
high
about the fitness
school.
center?
Yep, that. And I noticed it particularly when we were going to games. Everybody would just walk in the parking lot versus using that sidewalk. I don't know if anybody else noticed that. And I don't remember noticing it in past years.
We'll have that conversation. Yeah. We have a lot of tools to help us keep our sidewalks clear.
Yeah. Otherwise, I thought the snow removal was pretty good this year, but.
I've been very happy with our Ed retired, Ed Groovy did the snow plowing for 20 plus years. He's enjoying retirement. I do see him. He's not regretting being retired from this, but Soaring Brothers do a nice job taking care of us.
Yeah.
Good job in our lots. So minus the time where we're supposed to get 2 inches of snow and we get 10, right? Which is enough.
Can I say though, in the event referendum is not successful, can we put a water heater in high school? Can we just be done? We're seeing every month that there's just, it's like we're just throwing.
It's my one of the veins of my existence right now.
Okay, so I don't deal with it every day. I just see it once a month and it drives me nuts. All right, item B, a house bid update.
Yeah, this is just an update, keep it in the forefront. So we have had a couple of people come in and view it. and Mr. Charlier and the students, we actually try to make it a little bit of a sales experiment for them, so they get to show it off the house. Just a reminder to the public of TV Land, that bid is due at the April meeting, so in about a month.
That's a big
You got
number
a
for a
fly that's
fly.
attacking somebody.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Disney
All right.
flies.
Thank you for giving us the shindig on the house.
Yep. Please bid, we're looking forward to get rid of that thing.
Item E, the April 7th, 2026 school board election. Mrs. Kellen.
Same thing, just an update that the election is coming. And we have Catherine Brunette, Dan Kelly, Shannon Grayson, and Chris Schultz on the ballot.
Get out and vote, folks.
April 7th.
Item F, the WASB correspondence and legislative report. Mrs. Brunette.
Yes, so March updates. The Wisconsin legislature largely concluded its regular floor activity in February. Remaining education bills must pass quickly before adjournment or will be carried over to the next legislative cycle. School cell phone policies, we've been hearing a lot about that. There is actually an update to language in one of our policies regarding Act 42, which would require districts to limit cell phone use during instructional time. And those policies need to be in place by July 26th. There's a new proposal, AB 948, which would require bell-to-bell ban on cell phone services, which would prohibit the use for the entire school day, including during lunch, passing periods, etc. If this is passed, districts would need to update the policies by July of 2027. Advocates say that a bell-to-bell ban would reduce distractions and address mental health concerns tied to smartphones and social media. It would also provide statewide consistency. Concerns with it are some schools would like local control over the policies. Safety concerns have been raised if students cannot contact others in an emergency. The WASB notes that the original law has not yet taken effect, so it may be too early to mandate stricter rules statewide. The state budget surplus. Wisconsin currently has a large state surplus, and lawmakers and the governor are trying to decide how to use it. The legislature would like tax cuts and rebates, and the governor would like to increase school funding and local government aid. Additional.
Let me say something just real quick on that. There is a $2.3 billion surplus down in Madison right now. Some of you are aware, in the email chains and the school side of things, there were we thought some very, very good headway around basically funding special education to the level that they talked about in the state budget. It is coming at underneath about 7% less than what we initially were told. And that is a significant chunk of money. To put it in the real dollars for us, it's north of $150,000. So I don't know what more we can do. We've advocated from the educational side of things. If you as taxpayers want to get a hold of your constituents, it's kind of, I think, kind of getting pushed to the background a little bit more than what I'd like. I've not heard a lot of updates around it. So every voice matters. We're one voice as a district. So there's $2.3 billion sitting out there that they didn't know about. And let's hope that they can figure out something to do with it. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, you're fine. Additional education policy discussions. Other topics continue to emerge from legislative committees and task forces, including student online safety and social media regulation providers, AI in education, and school safety initiatives. I did include the link to the WSB legislative report if anyone wants to look at it.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm dying.
C12, Mr. Steve.
Yeah, we met on February 17th. The CISA 12 audit was reviewed with the Board of Control. CISA 12 continues to be in good financial standing. Shared service process is underway for 2026-2027 school year. The leadership team will be meeting with each district on their services for the next year. CISA has completed facilitation of a superintendent search for Maple, which we were sort of involved in, and is currently working on a search for Solon Springs. Amanda Popovich shared an update on career readiness. February is Career and Technical Education Month. CT teachers from all CISA 12 districts will dig deep into data next week as a large group. And Amanda shared data from the 23-24 school year on the extent of engagement of CISA 12 districts in aims such as work-based learning, industry-recognized credentials, dual enrollment and advanced placement. And we did a mid-year review of the agency administrators' goals.
again for that. NIH donations, Mr. Cotter.
Okay, we've got a series of them here. I want to make sure we thank the following people for the donations that they made. Rachel Rivola for a box of school supplies to NES. Angela Lutz and Kevin, I'm going to pronounce this name wrong and I apologize. I think it's Jackamack. Do you know how that one, Brad? You don't know that one. I don't know where it came in. Scenic Drive Resort. My apologies, Kevin. Fetchel Cotter. It's not an easy name to pronounce like Fetchel Cotter. They donated $1,800 to the Angel Fund, which is a very, very nice donation. We thank them. Following donations were made by the individuals towards the musical, which occurred a little while back. National Bank of Commerce, $100. Seth Staria Memorial Fund, $100. James Strevler, $30. Iron River Co-op, $25. Poplar Auto Refinishing, $75. Security State Bank, $50. And Patty's Dockside, $100. So we thank all of them. As you may or may not remember, the middle school went on Experience Day, and we had a number of different people that donated to make sure that all students, regardless of financial standing, could be part of that. So the Tiger Education Foundation, Northwestern Tigers Education Foundation donated $310. The Seth Staria Memorial Fund donated $175. Chad Dean donated $200. So thank you very, very much to those donors.
That's a long list of people that were willing to give funds for us. That's super appreciative.
Can I ask a quick question? Maybe you know the answer. So the that kindness retreat.
We're gonna get that in a minute here.
Is that coming up?
Yeah, that's coming up.
I'll wait.
It's under student, staff, and community recognition.
Yeah.
You're ahead of the game.
I'll make you talk about it, right?
Item I, reports from Iron River Elementary, Northwestern Elementary, Northwestern Middle School, Northwestern High School, the Athletic and Activities Director, and the Director of Special Education. I trust that everybody took a read through that. If you didn't, just shake your head yes. It is appreciative, and I have to say I don't read the announcements every day from the middle school, but I do skim them a couple days a week.
Thank
And then we'll do student representatives. Yeah, all right.
All right, I'll start out with our clubs and activities. So just recently, DECA sent 9 members to the state competition in Lake Geneva. Lauren and Jalen medaled in their role plays and were finalists. Noah Sanders medaled on his test, and Wilson Isaacson medaled and was a finalist, placing 6th overall, also qualifying to compete at the international level in Atlanta, Georgia. FBLA is gearing up for their state competition. Sorry, some of this is going to be really repetitive. You guys heard a lot of this tonight. FBLA is gearing up for their state competition April 12th to 14th in Green Bay. Fact and SAT are hosting a movie night Friday, March 27th, where members of the community are invited to come together and watch Bolt, the Disney movie. FCAC LA will be traveling to the Kalahari and the Dells on April 6th through 8th, bringing all 20 members who competed in districts and continuing to compete in their various topics. Lauren was also selected to sing the national anthem at the state level, which is pretty cool. And on that musical note, together the stage crew and actors finally showcased their musical Mamma Mia over the Valentine's Day weekend and had an amazing turnout and a fantastic rendition of the piece. FFA will be sending some of its members down to River Fall this month on the 28th for their competition. National Honor Society will be planning a bingo day for some of our senior community members and for everyone this coming month in April. Our junior class has begun their prom preparations and chose the theme Starry Night. VAC competed in Superior this past Friday and will be sending the 7 members down to state. And our band and choir hosted an area competition, and both groups received the best scores across the board from all judges. Students are also preparing for their next jazz concert, Coffee House, on Tuesday, March 31st. And some select students will travel to Ashland High School on Saturday, April 11th for solo and ensemble. And then tonight band and choir are co-hosting their spring concert at 7:30 in the auditorium.
Moving on to sports, we kind of have a lot because all of our winter sports have wrapped up. So the 2025-2026 season was exciting and successful for the boys basketball team. So the Tigers finished their season with an impressive 17-8 overall record and a 14-2 conference record, earning a top spot in the conference standing and proving themselves as one of the most competitive teams in the region, especially because our conference is pretty difficult. On an individual level, Camden Kroll broke a record this year by making the most amount of three-pointers with a whopping 9 shots made in the game. Throughout the season, Northwestern consistently demonstrated strong offensive production and disciplined defense. One of the team's most dominated performances came in a convincing win over Barron in an 80-40 victory. Moving on to girls basketball, their team also wrapped up their season, finishing strong with an overall record and many individual and team accomplishments along the way. So this season was pretty heavily led by Jillian Kuhner, a junior forward. She played a major role in the Tigers' success. Jillian led the team in multiple statistical categories. So she averaged about 15.3 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, and was a dominant defensive presence with about 5 blocks per game. The Northwestern girls finished their season with a 14-10 overall record and a 12-6 conference record, finishing 4th in the conference. Moving on to the Superior Hockey Co-op team, they punched their ticket to the state tournament, and they ended their season with 11-13 record, and they ranked 2nd in their region. Although we say Superior, we don't always think of it, but our co-op girls played a huge role in the team's success. In fact, 4 out of the 6 starters in all of the games were from Northwestern, so that's pretty exciting to see. And although sometimes they don't always get a lot of recognition, the girls put a tremendous amount of work and effort, and it shows in these games. In the game against Northern Pines that punched their ticket to the state game, our girls' effort paid off with Paisley Lustig scoring 2 goals and Gianna Geisler scoring once and Michaela Geisler with an assist. And Peyton Benoit, so if you don't know, she's online, but she goes Northwestern, with a shutout game, her first varsity shutout game. And then in the state game, the girls, they held their own, but they fell short 4-7, but it was very exciting to see. As for wrestling, they wrapped up their season. No one made to state, but 3 wrestlers accomplished 100 wins this season, and that is Julius Mayberry, Ivan Woodhall, and Briar Burkhart. The wrestling team took 3rd at the team sectional, but they didn't qualify. But the team placed 2nd in the conference and won the most duels in the northern region. They had a great season and were well accomplished. The dance team also wrapped up their season. They went to state for the 7th time in a row, and Isabel Steria made it to state for her solo. They also placed 5th at regionals for jazz, and they will hope to continue their success next year. As for gymnastics, the season went good with our 3 co-op athletes, JL Lintula, Doris Ewald, and Meadow Norquist. They competed at a hard sectional meet with only one of their teammates advancing to state, and that teammate goes to Superior. But overall, the girls had a very successful and fun season. Spring sports are starting to get rolling, so track and field started today with their first practice, while other spring sports will start after break.
Wolf down.
Yeah. Busy.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I know that's a lot of work that I hope you don't procrastinate too late in putting it together, but I'm sure you all have a lot going on. So thank you for sitting through this exciting stuff. I think you've got one more meeting and then you get to be done with us, right?
Oh, well.
One. April and May. Sorry, 2 more.
Oh, don't cut us short.
2 more. I'm looking forward to spring here.
All right, you can come back in June.
Yeah. Item J, student staff community recognition. Mr. Finch. Can I say something first?
Yes.
I'm not sure if you guys all saw, Mitch Lindstrom passed away. I don't know how long he taught here.
27 years.
27 years. And I'm not sure if you were going to say anything about it, but he certainly unexpected. What did he retire? 4 years ago? 5 years ago?
Yeah.
No,
Has
it
it
was
been?
our last year. We had him in 5th grade.
So,
We
all
were
right,
the last
so-
class he taught. So,
So it certainly looked as though he was enjoying his retirement, and he put a lot of dedication into the kids. And I know he taught 3 of mine, and it's just sad for his family. I know there's a GoFundMe, so I think to try to help get him back here, amongst some other things that they're having to deal with. So if anybody out there in the old internet world had a tie to him, make a comment, make a note if you're able to help on that. I'm not here advocating for you spending your money, but he was a good guy, did a lot of good for a lot of kids for a lot of years. So
thank you. I'm probably gonna put Ms. Craig on the spot. Do you want to talk about the Courage Retreat, Ms. Craig? Sorry
Oh
about
my
that.
goodness, yes, it was absolutely incredible. Unless there's other feedback that I don't know or not aware of, but I would say she always is, right? But kudos to Mrs. Kaufman for, and I know Mrs. Keitel has been a part of that, our whole counseling team, in really getting this initiative off the ground for our kids. I also want to thank the Tiger Foundation as well. They were instrumental in helping make it happen as well. And I mean, I had students that just told me it was life-changing. On behalf of our students, the folks that put it on said in all of the years they've been doing it in hundreds, if not thousands of schools they visit, they have never seen more kind, compassionate, intuitive, just incredible kids. And they were genuine about it. Like what they were speaking about our Tigers when they were talking about it, and what mattered. And I just think it was such a beautiful experience and beautiful experience with the children and the staff. The staff were really involved. They were meeting with the staff. What is it about these students that you just love, and let's elevate that? And what is it? What are some, just it was incredible. It's hard to put into words. And I didn't get it either when everyone was trying to, explain, like, okay, well, if you guys are excited about it, let's do this. And to walk into that gym and see students connecting and doing the things they were doing all day. Like, it was just such engagement. Yeah, I would love to have students share their experience too. It was right with you, but I just can't speak more. It was just fantastic. Thank you for encouraging and supporting things like that for our students, for our Tigers to come together and community build and just bond and connect with each other in that way.
Would it be your recommendation to do this again next year, in 2 years, 3 years? What are your thoughts?
You want to hear something funny, Mr. Hirsch? The 8th graders were like mad that day. They were in my office, like, why didn't we get that? It's like, because they were peeking in the gym and they thought, what's going on? There's just such a buzz that those 6th graders came out different and better. Do you know what I mean? And they were, it was like the whole school was just ignited with a different kind of energy. And 6th graders were like in my office, why did we get this? When do we get to do this? And I was like, okay, we'll work on it, See you in a couple months. I'm not kidding. But then the 7th graders really wanted to know about it. And so it became quite infectious, which is neat to see. But yes, I would recommend if we can do it. It was so powerful.
Cool.
And I think aligns with, I know our families pretty well. I've been in the community for 20 years and 12 at the middle school. I think it really just aligns with, we always say at the middle school, what it takes to be a Tiger. Really kind of dug into those Tiger hearts. It's pretty cool.
Thank you, Ms. Craig. Yeah. And the other, to get to Mr. Hirsch's point.
I'm glad you went there.
Yeah, it's hard to put in words. So.
And our counseling team does an excellent job of trying to make sure we provide a rounded educational experience and obviously social emotional learning and interaction is part of that. The 4th grade did the kindness retreat. Mr. Laird, I have you chime in here in a minute. But, I know Ms. Heitela had to step out, but she was very instrumental with that. And also kudos to our educational foundation and the work that they're doing. It really does show up in impacting students across our district. So it is a lot of that social emotional learning, trying to increase self-awareness, empathy, connection between classmates. I did have a chance to go down there and spend a little bit of time just checking out what they do. And there were plenty of smiles on our students' faces. I do want to quickly just recognize a number of our students that were involved, because it wouldn't work out if our high school students were involved. That's kind of that very unique process of being at Northwestern as the older generations get back to the younger generations, which is important. So those students, Ella Ronke, Jenna Crozier, Shelby Hessel, Ilana Preem, Steph Fouts, Claire Nielsen, Abby Babula, Gage Nolette, Mason Chell, Tyson Teal, Cam Kroll, Ethan Harms, and Ricky Erickson were all down there. And each one of them had a group, and it was entertaining to see some of that work. Mr. Larrabee, anything you want to add with it?
Just to echo what Mrs. Craig said, looking at our board goals, our building goals, these all align with how we support our students and teach them what it means to be a fighter. So as Cody said, bringing our high school leaders down and having them part of that day with our elementary students is vastly impactful. So kudos to Mr. Smith and Mrs. Cole and their team, because it just makes our community at the school that much stronger. And also a shout out to the Education Foundation, because without their funding, we wouldn't have the funding to do it. So it's our plan to do it again next year. We're already in conversation about booking them. It's a fantastic group, and encourage any board members or any community members, if you want to come see it, come see it. It's very powerful.
It is important to note, it's both, it happened at Northwestern Elementary School, the gymnasium there, but it included Iron River students. We bring them over too. So it is a fourth grade district-wide initiative. So there are our appreciations. So thank you to all of the counseling team that put that together and their work behind the scenes. And obviously our funding streams that we wouldn't necessarily be able to do without.
We're all looking at
Did you have more?
I can't say it any better than these guys.
All right. Well, no, you brought it up. If you had something you wanted to say, I think you have the, here's your opportunity to say more.
We got you.
You'll never bring anything up again.
I'll come in.
for another month.
I think it's nice that those high school kids come. That's a big thing. I mean, that's,
That is nice.
it's, our school does a really good job. I've noticed this last couple years just coaching kids, like, varsity kids, always younger kids are cheering and they give them high fives. So it's a really cool thing. I know my daughter Claire was in JC was in Claire's group, and she's like, guess who I had? Because she's on the basketball court now. You see her in this, so you see how it all comes together, and the kids really look up to those kids, and our older kids really do a really good job of engaging kids, not just walk by them and don't say anything. So it's really good.
And if I could add also, because Claire was a part of it, the older kids get a lot out of it as well. It wasn't just about the little kids and the middle schoolers, but the high school kids took a lot away.
It's cool to see you get the opportunity to do it. It's a very good annual event.
Well, if I can add something, if you guys want me to say something, I'll say something. And I'm eating this up like a piece of pie, and this is good stuff. So my only encouragement would be sustainability, right? Because I hear such positive things. Be thinking about how we can make this sustainable, both financially and the people that put all this effort into it. It doesn't come on its own. So I don't put it on one person, but rather have a team to, make that work. And so, yeah, kudos to all of you.
Well, all right, let's move to item 8, comments from the audience. Now that we have concluded the business of the board, we will end the live stream.